hello. I am pretty sure this is exactly where I left off in my last video. It's days later. This might even be the same t-shirt, but I swore I washed it. But how are you doing? We have a lot of stuff to do today. I am realizing that it is the last week before Christmas and I wanted to get a video up, so I have a lot of stuff to do. We're gonna do a DIY. I have these bells that are kind of basic and I just wanna, I don't know, make them more my style, so we're gonna do that. I'm gonna do a Q&A kind of while I do stuff. I might make some cookies. We have an errand to run. Yeah, we'll see what we get up to, but we have a lot to do, so let's go ahead and leave the house. All right, we're here. We're at the mall to go into Bath and Body Works to try to get a Christmas candle, but I thought I would answer a question or two just really quick before we go inside. So the first one is, what part of the country do you live in? I live in Pennsylvania. I'm on the east coast of Pennsylvania. I've lived in Pennsylvania my whole life. I grew up about an hour away from where I live now, but the answer is Pennsylvania. And then, do you have any siblings? I do. I have two siblings, two brothers. They're both older than me, so I am the baby of the group. And they both live about an hour away from me in my hometown, so that is why you never really get to see them. And we'll do one more quick one because it's short, is what do I do for a living? I am in social work, which I have been for just over a decade, which is hard to believe, but that is my full-time job, or what my career is in. All right, let's go inside and get a Christmas candle. Okay, I'm back. I did not film much because it is just chaos out there. I gotta tell you, I would not be cut out for living somewhere that was so heavily populated that this was just how it was all the time. Driving around trying to find a parking place, crazy long lines, just people everywhere. Like, I could never do it. But let me show you what I got. In Bath and Body Works, I got a candle, but it's not a Christmas candle. I didn't really like the Christmas candles that they had. They were very, I don't know, like candy smelling. So I got this white pumpkin one, which is obviously fall, but this smells like my favorite scent profile, which is warm and spicy. Like, there's nothing particularly fall about this in my opinion, so I will still burn this even though it is not technically a Christmas candle. I also got some cookie cutters, just snowflakes. I'll probably only be able to use the littlest one. I don't know if you can see it that well because the other ones are humongous, so that's probably not gonna work. Then I just grabbed some towels. These are little tea towels, but they're like the waffle knit kind of texture, which I really like. And last but certainly not least, a 2024 planner. I am very particular about my planners. I like to have room to have notes. I like to have a space to write like weekly stuff I have to get done. I'm a very planned person, so I'm particular about my planner. So that was what I got at Home Goods and Bath and Body Works. But we need to get this DIY started ASAP. So let me show you what we're gonna do. Okay, I picked up these just plain kind of bells at Target. They were in the dollar spot. And they're just really simple, basic white bells with this kind of little rope detail on it. Now, it's cute by itself, but I feel like I would like this better, or both of them better, if they just kind of looked more aged. So, and I don't love the white. So what we're gonna do is take these down to the basement and start to spray them. Actually, no, first we've got to tape off the little rope section, so we're gonna do that. All right, I'm trying out a new recipe and I'm already feeling a little bit skeptical because the sugar cookie dough calls for a cup of confectioner's sugar in it, and I've really never made sugar cookies with confectioner's sugar in it. A cup seems like a lot, but that's what the recipe says. I'll leave the recipe in the description box. But that just seems, I don't know. I'm no expert baker or anything, but we're gonna go with what the recipe says and we'll see what we end up with.
Hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart.
Well, my camera died, but I was at the point where I was putting flour in the dough, and if that is what you saw last, then the only things left to go in the dough was some baking powder and a pinch of salt. So the dough is currently chilling in the refrigerator. I need a little bit more time for the spray paint to dry on the bells, so I was figuring this might be a good time to answer a couple more questions. The first one is, do you have any fun Christmas traditions? I do. I get my Christmas tree with my dad every single year. This year my niece did come, and I think she might have came last year as well. But it's just fun to like go together, and we kind of make a little day out of it, and it's just nice to spend that time with my dad. My family does also play games on Christmas, whether it's trivia or last year we did one where you were blindfolded and you got a spatula and there were like little Christmas bows all over the table. So you had your spatula and a bowl, and then you were blindfolded and you had to see how many bows you could scoop up and get into your bowl within like 60 seconds. So that's always fun to like play those games with family. So I think those are probably the main ones. I'm sure there's something I'm not thinking of, but those two things really just mean a lot to me. Next question is, what is your next project? Did you ever finish your basement and laundry area from the house tour? No. No, I did not. The basement has become... The basement's sort of become a dumping ground, to be honest. There is pieces of furniture that I'm not currently kind of using, rugs, decor. It's the collection spot, and I really need to go through everything and donate what I don't need, see if my mom wants any of it. Maybe I can give some to friends or something, but it is just... that in the garage. Just, I have to go through it when it's spring and maybe a little bit warmer and I can have everything open. But no, I never quite got to finishing the laundry area. What made you start a YouTube channel? I thought about creating a channel years before I actually did it. I have really loved styling and decorating for as long as I can remember. Even as a kid, I would move my bedroom furniture around and like style the space. I've always loved it, and I feel like I got to a point where I really wanted to share it with other people. I'm not a designer by any means, but I I love all things home. I love creating a space that makes me happy, and I wanted to share with people ways that I think you can do it too, but not spending a ton of money. I used to watch YouTube makeovers when I had my first apartment, and so often I'd be inspired by them because their spaces would turn out beautiful, but I would also be very disappointed because, you know, the creator bought a rug that was $600 and a company gifted them, you know, a $1,500 sideboard and all this stuff, and I couldn't afford those things. So I just often felt like, well, how do I make my space look nice without having that money? And that is really where my love of thrifting was born, and I really do believe you can create a beautiful space thrifting, and so I just wanted to share my love of those things with other people who love them too. All right, we'll do one more, and then we've got to get back to cookies and DIYs and whatever else we have going on. The question is, what hobbies do you have outside of home decor and YouTube? I am a reader. I do love to read. I read a lot of true crime. That's just the kind of subject that interests me. I do also love sports. My dad was a football coach when I was growing up, and I love football. I'm from Pennsylvania, so I am an Eagles fan. Don't come for me if you don't like the Eagles. But yeah, I love football. I go to games with my dad. We love college football. We love pro football. We also love baseball. My mom loves baseball too. My niece played Little League for years. So yeah, I love sports. I love reading. I do like cooking and baking, but I'm not great at them. So I don't know that I would quite call that a hobby. But yeah, those are probably the two main ones, probably sports and reading. All right, so that's enough for now. Let's go ahead and get back to what we were doing before.
But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the January. Doesn't matter, it's Christmas in my heart, and I can promise Santa's coming to visit. No, he wouldn't miss this in Christmas.
So I'm just taking the tape off these. And I know that I'm gonna have missed part of it because it covered it. We could just fix that with paint. And I'll put a close-up here so you can kind of see what I meant by like the brown paint over the black paint and what it does for it. It just kind of blends together and takes the harshness of the black out of it. All right, so I've got my bells. I have different just paints here, more neutral colors, brown shades, tans, black. I also have some tubes of Rub and Buff. I have paint brushes. And then what I also have is a slightly damp paper towel. This is actually most likely what I'm going to use to kind of dab the paint onto the ornaments and kind of like stipple it around. For some reason, a damp paper towel just really diffuses the color well. Floyd is also here. Hi. So he's gonna help with this project too. The next question is, what do you think of being an influencer? I'm going to preface this by saying this is just how I feel. These are just my views. It doesn't have anything to do with anybody else. But honestly, I hate that term. I don't think of myself that way. I don't call myself that. There's just something about the term that feels manipulative to me. Like your sole purpose is to get people to be influenced to do things or buy things or whatever. And that's just not how I want to be or see myself or anything like that. So I typically refer to myself as a content creator because that just feels kind of more in line with what I feel like I do and what my point is. I want to create content that hopefully you guys like watching and can get something out of. But yeah, I don't like the term. I don't like the culture around it. So that's just how I feel about that term. Alright, I've got the bells pretty much mostly painted. I'm just going to move them out of the way. I need to let them dry a little bit now, and then I'll kind of go back in and maybe do some finer details, but I figured I would do just one final question, and then I've been taking the cookies out and putting new ones in the oven. So the last batch are in now. I'm not sure if maybe you'll see, I do need to eat at some point today, and I think I might make a onion and mushroom like caramelized pizza. It's kind of what I've been in the mood for. So maybe you can make that with me too. I don't know yet. Alright, let's just do this last question. The last one is, do you have any advice for a content creator that also has a full-time job? I'm there with you. It's a lot of work having a full-time job and also making YouTube videos or whatever type of content that you do. It is a lot of work, but I would say the best piece of advice that I could give is to plan. And if you're not a planning type of person, I know that might kind of stink, but the best thing that I do is I plan out my videos ahead of time, and then I also plan kind of what I'm going to film and when I'm going to film it. You know, having a full-time job obviously means you don't have the luxury of just waking up and being like, oh, I'll film whenever today. I have a very limited amount of time to film, which I'm guessing if you have a full-time job means you have a very limited amount of time to film as well. So really planning out, you know, your next couple videos. Don't finish a video and then be like, what am I gonna do next? Because then it takes time away from you. So I recommend having kind of a lineup going of what videos you're going to film, and then when you look at your week, breaking down when are you going to actually film it. So if you have to do it in stages, maybe that means, you know, Tuesday I'm gonna film this piece of my video and this piece of my video. Wednesday I'll film the last piece of my video, and then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday I'll edit to have it up for Sunday. So sometimes it takes me a while to get a video done just because things don't go as planned. I end up stuck at work. You know, editing takes longer than I think of, or, you know, there's just not enough time for some reason. And now that it's almost the winter, the sun goes down very early, so I don't ever get home when it's still light out, and if I can't make at least a decent video with the lighting, I sort of feel like there's not a point. I want to do the best that I can with what I've got, so it is tricky. But that was a long-winded answer, but my best advice is to just have a plan for yourself, know what you're going to film and when you're going to film it and edit it, and just try the best you can to stick to that. Alright, I am back. I'm just cooking down some diced onion and mushrooms. I'm gonna make that like balsamic onion mushroom pizza. Alright, I'm just waiting on the bread to kind of crisp up, and I thought I would answer just a couple more. Favorite Christmas movie is definitely, I am not like a sentimental Christmas movie kind of gal, so I would say my favorite is definitely The Grinch with Jim Carrey. I don't know if it's like the nostalgia with like adult humor, but I just think the movie's funny. Also love the original Home Alone, but I mean, I'll watch any Christmas movie, but I am not a big like sappy like Hallmark Christmas movie kind of gal. This one came from a fellow social worker. So tips on how to increase your creativity when it comes to design and home decor. I would say that when I am feeling just like not creative, when I can't figure out what I want to do with a space or I'm not feeling inspired, I will typically go to a designer whose style very much resonates with mine and kind of go to their Instagram, watch their reels, look at what they're doing, see what colors they're gravitating towards. I really do like Amber Lewis a lot from Amber Interiors. A lot of people know her from her collection with Leloy rugs, but the moody palettes that she creates in homes it's just stunning. So I will frequently go to like her Instagram and kind of look and see what she's up to. And it just kind of gives me motivation again and inspiration to get creative in my own home. But again, it has to be a designer or someone that really, like, you love their style and it resonates with you. I think that's what kind of helps me get out of a creative rut.
Well, I'm all for Christmas, all the happy smiles and the wishes. And I want it all, from the lights to the mistletoe. Tell me one thing, is there anything that you're missing? I will keep you warm as soon as you remove that.
All right, we've got it in the oven. So next question is, do you have any tips for how to store seasonal decor or decor that you like to swap out? So obviously it's going to depend on what your storage situation is, but I would say the two most important things no matter what is to, one, keep all of your seasonal or holiday stuff together. Don't have some of it here, some of it there. You need to have all of the stuff that you have together. And the second most important thing is that it's labeled. So I would say bins are typically the easiest means of storing. And what I do is I will put, say, all of my fall stuff into 2 to 3 bins, and I will label each of them fall, and those bins stay together. So that way next season when it's fall again, I get out those 3 bins and I know those are the bins I have. That's the decor that I have, and I'm not wondering, is there another bin somewhere else? Did I misplace something? It's all together and it's labeled.
Whatever we do, we will be alright. These holiday wonders will open your mind. May all your wishes tonight come true. The love I lived, the dream I knew. This Christmas I only wanna be close to you. Hey.
All right, it's not happening. I'm not making the frosting. I honestly think they're very good without it. I'll put a little clip here just so you could see how they came out. They have like a slightly crispy border with like a soft center. Like they break apart very easily. So that is just how I like my cookies. You might like yours differently, but I am wiped. Just wiped out. So that is, I think, probably going to be it for this video. I don't foresee there being anything else. Hopefully this will be a little bit longer than my videos have been lately, but if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more from me, you can subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next one. I don't know if that'll be next week or the week after, but if you celebrate, I hope you have a wonderful holiday. If you celebrate New Year's, I hope you have a fantastic New Year night, day, all of 2024. There are plenty of projects still to do, plenty of DIYs to get up to, so I'm excited to get on that journey and for you guys to be with me. So, alright, enough rambling. I did that too much today. Have a good night and take care of yourself in the meantime. Bye, guys.